All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in this truth. I'm Pathaka Moth GMS Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with a real quick lesson, man. You know, just dealing with these bugged out Christian pastors, man. You know, that's wants to continue to try to come up against this truth, man, this actual true knowledge of the Bible, and trying to make these weird points, you know what I'm saying, that is no points, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, these guys are false prophets, man. You know, you got this dude on the screen right here, his name is Tony Smith, you know, and of course this dude right here, you know, Geno Jennings, and then this bug out here named Marcus Rogers. You know what I'm saying? You know, thinking, you know, that they can come up against this knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? Which Christianity is done. It's through. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And this guy here, he went to John 3:16, for goodness sake, man. You know, we've dealt with that to the point where really Christians don't even come with that anymore. When they try to come up against us, they don't go to John 3:16 because we've thoroughly dismantled John 3:16, you know, in the sense that they were trying to use it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even bring that out anymore. So where has this dude been? You know, he's been hiding under a rock or something, because he actually went to John 3:16, you know, in his video. You know what I'm saying? And of course, this dude right here, Geno Jennings, you know, he tried to say that the Lord didn't come, wasn't from any ethnic group, which is absurd to say the least. And then this bug out right here, Tony Smith, said that the Lord, he's no respecter of person. You know, he tried to go to that scripture to try to make a point that there's the Lord ain't dealing with nationalities. There is no nationality, doesn't matter, which the Bible does not back any of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes are straight up bug outs, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, though. So we're just we're gonna get into the scriptures, man. You know, because at the end of the day, these dudes are false prophets, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord ain't dealing with these dudes right here. He's not dealing in the Christian church, man. You know, they don't have the understanding. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have the discernment or the eye salve. They don't deal with prophecies. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they're just bug outs, man. They're false prophets, you know. So we're gonna go to Matthew, the 24th chapter, and we're gonna jump down to verse 24. And it reads, "For there shall arise false anointeds," you know, false Christ or false Mashiachim, you know, false anointed, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You know what I'm saying? And these cats right here, man, they're real cunning, real smooth. You know what I'm saying? If you watch any of these lessons that brothers are doing when they're going in on these dudes, and just listen to some of the things, some of the ways that they just got Jake, you know, bugged out, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but it says, "For there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect," which is not possible. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing is about the elect in 1/3, man. You know what I'm saying? So those Jakes that are when I say Jake, I'm talking about the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent. You make up the 12 no longer lost tribes in these times, man. You know, we know who we are. You know, we know who the devil is. We know who our enemies are. All 17 other nations outside of the nation of Israel, primarily these Edomites, which are the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child that go back to their forefather Esau. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they're in the business of trying to save these people, man. You know, because they have Stockholm syndrome to the highest levels and degrees, man. You know, Stockholm syndrome at its finest, man. You know, So, and that's what they're doing. You know, it says there shall that for there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets. And if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, but it's not possible. So all of those that are being deceived are not part of the elect, man. The Lord is not dealing with them because the scriptures say that the deceiver and the deceivers are his. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. In Job, the 12th chapter, we're going to drop down to verse 16. And it reads, with him is strength and wisdom. It's talking about Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the Most High Yahweh, and his only begotten Son Yahushua. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. So these dudes are the deceivers, you know, Tony Smith, Geno Jennings, Marcus Rogers, and all the rest of these Christian knuckleheads, you know, these coon pastors in these churches that's continuing to forward the madness of Christianity, man. You know what I'm saying? That plantation Christianity, man. You know what I'm saying? So they're the deceivers, and the people that's crowding these churches, those whorehouses, as the scriptures liken them to, you know, those harlot houses, pack them and cheer these men on and you know, just get happy and clapping and yeah, and you know, teach, brother, and all that crap. You know what I'm saying? Those are the deceived. And it says the deceiver and the deceived Salakia and the deceiver are his. So the Lord has these dudes set up as deceivers to deceive those that he's not dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. You know, and that's to fulfill prophecy, because he's already prophesied to destroy the majority of his people, even within among those that know they're Israelites, man. The scriptures say they are not all Israel that are of Israel in Romans the 9th chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing at the end of the day is all about the will, pleasure, and purpose, the will, purpose, and pleasure of the Lord, man. This is Zechariah 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So this thing is about the elect, the 1/3, man. You know, the 2/3, the majority of the nation of Israel is going to be cut off and die. They're going to be destroyed, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, you know, because they're following these blind watchmen, man, these dumb dogs. Let's get that real quick in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 56. We're going to jump down to verse 10, and it reads, his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. So the Lord is telling you that these so-called watchmen, you know what I'm saying, are ignorant, man. You know, the likes of Marcus Rogers and Geno Jennings and this dude, Tony Smith, they're ignorant, dumb dogs, man. You know, it says they cannot bark. And that's a dog's purpose. His job, man, is to bark. And that bark represents the warning. That bark is a warning, man. You know, if a trespasser or stranger comes up, you know, near the house, and you have a dog, that dog is going to alert you by barking, sending out that warning signal, you know, which is representative of the prophets that the Lord is dealing with. We're blowing the trumpet. We're warning, man. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't warning. You know, they're deceiving. So it says they are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber, because they're in that sleep. They're in that slumber that the Lord put the nation in. He put the whole nation to sleep, and he only woke up a remnant of them, man. You know, as a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 29, and we'll get to the point in verse 10. It says, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered, which we would once call seers, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all the seers and the prophets are the same things, man. You know, it's the same thing, you know. And he says, he hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered, man. You know what I'm saying? So the prophets, the seers of the Lord, those men he's dealing with, have been covered. They're uncovered now, but he only he's only waking up a remnant of his people. That's why it says in Isaiah the 10th chapter, around verse 20, that the remnant shall return, man, because that's the only ones the Lord is dealing with. Everything else he's going to leave in that slumber. Isaiah 69, the 6th chapter in verse 9 and 10 breaks that down, man. It says, verse 11, and the vision of all is becoming to you as the words of a book that is sealed. And that's talking about the Bible, man, and the prophecies. It says, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. So these men don't have it, man. The Spirit of the Lord is not with them. The book, these prophecies, the knowledge, the mysteries and secrets, which are revealed to his servants, the prophets, pursuant to Amos, the 3rd chapter in verse 7, those mysteries, Colossians, the 1st chapter, and other places, it's not given to them, man. As a matter of fact, let's go into this real quick, because it says it's the book is sealed. So let's go to Colossians real quick, just to make that point. It's Colossians 1 and 26, I believe it is 26. It says, even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now was made manifest to his saints. Let's go on this word mysteries real quick, because it's going to break it down. These things are sealed to them, but this is G3466, and I'm gonna let him say it.
Strong's G 3466,
Musterion, and it says hidden thing, secret, mystery, those mysteries and secrets. Generally, mysteries, religious secrets confided only to the initiated and not to ordinary mortals. So Marcus Rogers, Geno Jennings, Tony Smith, and anything that's in the same like mind are ordinary mortals, man. Us in this knowledge, that has been given these mysteries and secrets are the initiated. We're not mortal men, man. It says a hidden or secret thing, not obvious to the understanding. And the truth of this Bible is not obvious to their understanding, man. A hidden purpose or counsel, secret will of men of the Most High, the secret counsels which govern the Most High in dealing with the righteous, which are hidden from ungodly and wicked men, but plain to the godly. So it's hidden to these ungodly, wicked people. Geno Jennings, Marcus Rogers, Tony Smith, and their congregations, and anybody that listens to them. That Marcus Rogers guy, he had like 30,000 views. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is, man. They're ungodly and wicked, man. So these things are not revealed to them. And the scriptures back that. What's that? Matthew, the 13th chapter. Says given unto you to know the mysteries, but unto them it's not given. It's not given. Mark the 4th chapter reiterates that and says the same thing. Matthew the 19th chapter. All men cannot receive this same, save they that has been given or was chosen. Roughly paraphrasing, but Matthew the 19th chapter, I think around verse 11. You know what I'm saying? So these things were given to certain specific men and people, man. And the rest he's not dealing with, because we read it in Zechariah 13:8. He's going to destroy the majority of his nation. So, just to go into a couple of things, a few of these things that these false prophets preach, when you're dealing with that Marcus Rogers cat, like I said, he actually bought out John 3:16. You know what I'm saying? With no understanding. We've broken this down so many times. It's ridiculous, man. So let's just get it real quick. This is John 3:1. I'm going to start at 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. So he's dealing with a ruler of the Jews right off the top. What does that have to do with all nations? Because this thing is about the Israelites. So we'll read John 3:16 now. For the Most High so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And when you go into that word world, it's cosmos. It's cosmos. I wish. Let's go into it. Let's go ahead and get it. This lesson is probably going to be a little extensive, a little longer than normal, because there's a few points I want to make. So let's go into this word, G2889, and you can see it right there. It says cosmos, and adapt, an apt, a harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government. So it's talking about a government. You know what I'm saying? Which is the kingdom of heaven is going to be the next government established in the earth. So real quick, we'll come back to John 3:16. Let's get that in Isaiah, the 9th chapter. We're going to jump down to verse 6. This is Isaiah 9:6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And the government we just read in the word world in John 3:16, it says that government, this is what it's talking about. That's that cosmos. Isaiah 9:6, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. Salvation, eternal, everlasting, upon the throne of David, which they don't like to deal with, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of armies will perform this. Verse 8, the Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted upon Israel. So that's who it's talking about, man. The next government will be the government of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is that cosmos, a particular specific people, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not talking about the whole planet Earth, because as a matter of fact, there's another one. I know it's in Revelations. Can't remember exactly where in Revelations. As a matter of fact, let me just type it in real quick. Let me type it in real quick. There's one of Revelations I was looking for. Matter of fact, let me just do it like this. Salak here. I think it's Revelations 3. There it is. Revelations 3. Revelations 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So we just went into the word world in John 3:16, which said cosmos. Now watch this. We're going to go into this word world in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. It's going to be a different world. The whole world. G3625. And it says oikoumene. I'm going to let him say it.
Strong's G 3625. Oikoumene. Oikoumene.
Oikoumene. The inhabited earth. So when you go into the words, you have to go into the words, man, and understand the the Bible is not dealing in English, man. You got to go into the Hebrew, the Greek, you know what I'm saying, to understand what the Bible is talking about. And in the Greek, there's 3 different definitions for the word world. Cosmos, ion, and oikoumene, which we're reading here. We already got cosmos, that government, that's a particular, specific nation of people. And here it says oikoumene, which is the entire inhabited earth. So the whole globe, the whole earth is going to go through that hour of temptation. But the Lord dying for the world in John 3:16 is not the same as this, or oikomene would have been there if it was talking about the whole earth, the whole world, the oikomene, the inhabited earth. So it's not talking about the whole world. And we can get the other one real quick. I think it's one in Matthew, the 13th chapter, I think. Is it 12 or 13? Might have to type that in too. No, this is it. Matthew 13 and 49, which is going to be different as well, man. But this is the third one right here. It says, so shall it be at the end of the world, the angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. Now let's go into this word world here, proving the three different definitions of world in the Bible. Let him say it.
Strong's G 165. Ion.
It's Ion. And it says forever and unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the world's universe, period of time, age. There it is. So the Ion, when it says world here, is talking about that time period, that period of time, that age. You know, it's been the age of the wicked, the Edomites. You know what I'm saying? Their time is up. You know, that's why it says in Revelations 12 and 12 that this devil is about to come down having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short period of time, man. That Ion is up. It's over, man. His reign, his rulership, his kingdom is through. So that just proves the differences in the word world. You know, so when we go back to John 3:16, it's John chapter 3 and verse 16, which we read verse 1. It was dealing with the Jews, man, off the top. Come on, man. The Israelites. It says, for the Most High, John 3:16, for the Most High so loved the world, cosmos, that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever among them whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Because the everlasting life, the kingdom, salvation is for the Israelites. Let's prove that real quick by going into the prophecy in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse, is it 47? 45, Salakia. Isaiah 45 and verse 17. And it reads, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, with an everlasting salvation. There it is. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. That's the world in John 3:16. They're a world because there's 18 worlds. The Lord created worlds. Let's get that in Hebrews real quick. It's Hebrews chapter 1. We're going to get to the point in verse 2. Hath in the last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, plural. Worlds, because as we just read in the prophecy of Israel being a world, all 18 nations represent worlds. That's why you have a such thing as third world countries. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have the world of sports, the world of baseball, Sea World, the world of insects. You know, there's many different worlds, man. You know, people get told, hey, you come out, you're in your own little world over there. Exactly. You know, so you can't just read the word world and think you got it, man. Stop, bro. You got to go into it and see what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So this dude tried to go to John 3:16, man. I was shocked by that, man. This dude been on a rock. So let's jump up now to verse 14, because it says, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Who was in the wilderness with Moses? The Israelites. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that account in the book of Numbers. What is that in? 21, I believe. 21. And we'll start at verse 5 just to, get a little context. It's Numbers 21 and 5. We'll read down a few verses. And the people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Talking about the Israelites. That's who was in the wilderness with Moses, man. No other nation was there. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? So who was delivered Who did Moses deliver out of the land of Egypt? The Israelites. Come on, man. For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our souls loatheth the light bread. And the Lord sent fiery serpents or poisonous snakes among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushua said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. And the children of Israel set forth and pitched in Oboth. So this thing is about the Israelites. That happened with the Israelites. There's no other nation that was in the wilderness with Moses. So this serpent represents Yahushai in John the 3rd chapter, man. That's why it's likening. It makes that comparison in the 14th verse, John 3:14. And just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. The same thing. It's dealing with the Israelites in these times that's going to repent like those that repented. We've sinned. Go to the Lord, Moses. You know. So those are the same spirits in these times that's returning to the Lord, man. You know, and they're looking up. They're looking to Yahushua, man. You know, and those are the ones that's gonna live in these times, just like back then, man. Those are the ones that he's talking about in verse 16. The world, Israel, man. It said that verse 15, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life. The first fruits of the kingdom, man. You know, that's what that's going into. You know, so these people are bugged out, man. And then you have that demon Geno Jennings, you know what I'm saying, who said that the Lord never had an ethnic group, you know what I'm saying, which is hilarious because when you read, let's just jump over to the first chapter, you know, of course, Yahushua is the word, John 1:1. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with the Most High, or with power, and the word was a power, you know. So we're going to jump down because he spoke Yahushua into existence. We're going to jump down to verse 14. It says, and the word, which was Yahushua, was made flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So if he was made flesh, what fleshly being doesn't have an ethnicity? That makes no sense, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's jump over to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. We're going to jump over to Wisdom of Solomon real quick in the Apocrypha. Try to get through this here pretty quick. You know, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. And we're going to start around verse 5. As a matter of fact, let's start up verse 3. It says, and when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth. As a matter of fact, let's just start at the top. I myself also am a Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, sperm, and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. So he's showing you that he came into the earth just like the rest of us, man. Everybody else came into the earth. You know, it says, I was nursed in swaddling clothing, you know, and they know who that is. They have a song, you know, lying wrapped in swaddling clothing, lying in a manger, born in Bethlehem, oh children. You know the song. They know that song. So the swaddling clothing, come on, man. You know, and for those of us that's in the know, we of course we know it's talking about King Solomon, but King Solomon in an incarnation is Yahushua an incarnation? Matthew 1:1. The generations or the many incarnations of Jesus Christ, Yahushua Mashiach, son of David, King Solomon, son of Abraham, Isaac. And then it goes through those 14 generation periods that the Yahushua, the one they ignorantly refer to as Jesus Christ, came into the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even believe in reincarnation, which is clearly in the scriptures, man. So it's dealing with Yahushua. Even though this is talking about King Solomon, he is King Solomon. It says, I was nursed in swaddling clothing, and that with cares, for there is no king, which Yahushua in Revelation, the 19th chapter, says he's the King of kings, Lord of lords. So he's a king. So it means him too. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth, for all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out. So the point is, he came into the earth just like us. So how is he not going to have an ethnicity? That makes no sense. As a matter of fact, let's go back. Let's go into Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 2, and I'm going to go down to verse 9. And it reads, but we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of the Most High should taste death for every man. So he was made a little lower than the angels. He didn't come in that angelic form. So let's drop down to verse 16. And it reads, for verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Which again proves that he's Isaac. I think it also goes into that in Galatians, the 3rd chapter. But he came into the earth through seed, sperm. When you go into the word, which I'm trying to kind of shorten this, I'm trying to, when you go into the word, it's sperm, man. He came into the earth through sperm, just like we did. Which Joseph, his father Joseph, got with Mary, impregnated her through his seed, his sperm, and brought him into the earth, man. It says, wherefore in all things it behooved him, he felt he owed it, to be made like unto his brethren. So he came on the scene just like us. He had parents. The Immaculate Conception is BS and nonsense, man. The scriptures tell you Joseph is his father, man, And it says that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. So he came on the scene just like he felt he owed it to come in the same flesh that we came in, this simple, weak flesh, to accomplish the things that he accomplished. So he'll have that perfect understanding, to have that mercy, man. And that to be that faithful high priest, because he understands, man. He came down here. He understands exactly what we deal with and go through, man, in this flesh. He knows. So that allows him to be that merciful, that, it says that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. That's why when he goes to the Father, in our behalf, because he's that mediator, he understands what we went through, man. And he can have that compassion for us and really plead our case, man. But these people don't get it, man. They bugged out here, man. So let's get the ethnicity, because he said he didn't have an ethnicity. This is Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, we know he was born just like us. It says, this Hebrews 7 and 14, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. Sprang, descended, when you go into that word, descended from. Descendants have ethnicity. If you descend from which this is one of the tribes, the top tribe of the nation of Israel, they have an ethnicity. Judites. They're Judites. That's their ethnicity. In these times, they're being called African Americans, blacks, which we'll get it. It says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. So let's get it real quick. Let's jump over to Jeremiah, the 14th chapter, in verse 2, and it reads, Judah, which we just read, he sprang out of Judah. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They ain't got the so-called blacks, African Americans, so-called. They don't have true leadership, because they're not going to listen to the prophets, the service of the men of the Lord, which should be their leaders. They should be looking towards those men, and they're not going to. They look towards the likes of rappers like Tupac and actors and Jay-Z and whoever, and then you got Jesse Jackass and Al Sharp Tongue, those are not leaders, man. So the gates thereof languish. They're weak, they are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Don't shoot, Can we all just get along? They out here crying in these streets, left and right, man. After being gunned down or put to death in some way by these Edomite cops or whatever, man, being hung, all kind of manner of ways of getting put to death out here. But it says they are black unto the ground. When you go into that word black, it's Kedar, man. And Kedar was the son, I believe, of Ishmael, man. Which they were dark-skinned people. It literally means dark skin. When you read in Lamentations, is it 4 or 5? I believe it's the 4th chapter. It says their visages were blacker than coals, man. Their faces, So it's dealing with Israelites, man. Come on, stop. You people, man. So these so-called blacks are the ethnicity, man. And that's why it describes the Lord as burned like brass, like it burned in a furnace, man. In Revelation, the 1st chapter, man. Also in Daniel, the 10th chapter. Is it the 10th? I believe it's the 10th chapter or 5th chapter. Daniel, the 5th chapter. 5th or 10th. Don't quote me. It's one of those. Salaki, got to brush up on, on some of those milk lessons, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's spoken of in Daniel too. I believe it's the 10th chapter in verse 5 and 6, if I'm not mistaken. Daniel 10, 5 and 6. The Spirit is telling me this, Daniel 10, 5 and 6. So, yeah, there it is, man, And then you have Tony Smith, which is the final point we're going to deal with, that wants to go to the scripture where it says that the Lord, the Most High, is not a respecter of person, to try to say that the nationality doesn't matter, man. When the Lord chose a nation of people. So that don't even make any sense, man. He chose a nation of people. So why would he go through choosing a nation if he's just going to save everybody? It makes no sense, man. Hey, bug outs, man. The 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. And it reads, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and they'll all agree on that. But check it. Let's keep reading. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. So he made a separation right there. He spoke of all the people that came from Adam. Then he separated those that he chose. So let's find out real quick who the people that he chose, man. This is Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 1. And it reads, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. As a matter of fact, let's jump over to Isaiah 45 and verse 4. For Jacob, my servant, sake, and Israel, mine elect. And when you go into that word elect, it means chosen. I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. So Israel is the chosen nation of the Most High. So that's what it's going into in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. When we go back over here, we'll read the next verse. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. So the earth belongs to the Israelites. That's why they're coming into their power, into their kingdom, to rule the earth in righteousness, man. What's hard to understand about that? So now let's jump over to the 5th chapter in verse 27, because it reads, 2nd Ezra 5:27, and among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people. So if the nationality of a person doesn't matter, why is all of these things being said? Why are these things being written? And among all the multitudes of people, the nations, the nationalities, thou hast gotten thee one people, one nation, one nationality of them. You know, just like when you read, when you read in this chapter, it goes into the Lord created a lot of flowers, and he has one flower, the lily. You know, birds, there's many birds, but he's got one bird, the dove. You know what I'm saying? Lands, there's many lands, which he refers to as pits, but he chose one, the land of Israel. All of these things, come on, cattle, there's many cattle, but he chose the sheep. You know, that's why we're referred to as the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord has chosen of all these things. He has favorite smells and all of that. Come on, man, stop, bro. The Lord he loves smells, you know, all of these things, man, you know. So he has a chosen people, and people, there are nations, there's nationalities. You can't get around this, you know. These people are bugged out, man. So let's get real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy. We're almost through. And I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 1 just to you know, it's Deuteronomy 1:1. And it says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan. So he's dealing with Israel. You know, the book of Deuteronomy is for Israel. So we jump over to the 7th chapter, is dealing with Israel, to keep it in context. It's Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua thy power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua thy power hath chosen thee, that nation of people that he chose out of all the multitudes of the people, to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, why would the Lord write these things if he's just going to go back on them and it doesn't matter? You know, he didn't write them for nothing. As a matter of fact, when you read in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, what did he tell you? 3:6, for I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So the Lord doesn't change, man. And his son doesn't change. We can get that too, but I'm trying to shorten this lesson. John, the 6th chapter, around verse 35 or 38, somewhere in there, he tells you that he came not to do his own will, but the will of the Father that sent him. And then when you read in Hebrews, the 13th chapter, in verse 8, he said he's the same yesterday, today, and forever, man. So he doesn't change, and he came to do the will of the Father. And we're reading the will of the Father, his people, you know. And, you know, he had, so, yes, nationality matters, man. You know. Let's get one more, and we'll end this thing. I think the point has been made. This is Sirach, chapter 12, and verse 13. And it reads, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? You know, so these dudes, you know, Marcus Rogers, Geno Jennings, Tony Smith, you know, these dudes are all serpents and beasts, you know, and the Lord calls them that, you know, vipers and wolves, foxes, you know. In Ezekiel, the 13th chapter in verse 4, he says, "O Israel, thy prophets are like foxes in the deserts, man." You know. So these are those dumb dogs, you know, the blind leading the blind, and both are gonna fall in the ditch of destruction, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the Spirit jumped on me to touch on that, man. You know, and hey, my 2 cents. There it is. Hopefully, this is edifying to the hopeful elect. With that, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kapadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shalom.